So what I want to talk to you about right now is the elements of good website design. And obviously with a whiteboard and a marker and my lack of artistic ability, I'm not going to be able to draw like really beautiful design. But I'm not really going to need to tell you the story of what makes good design and to point out to you how people honestly overpay for websites. They do this all the time. Now, if you're building a high-end database-driven website with a lot of programming in it, as long as you know what you're going to do with it, as long as it's a revenue generator, there's a justification for the expense. What there's almost never a justification for is the way a lot of web design companies take $25,000, $30,000, $40,000 from the customer to build a website that looks like this. They build you a box. And you're on a website right now. I bet you think it looks really nice. We're pretty proud of it. But it's basically a box. Across the top of that box, you have a logo. You got yourself a little picture. I told you I can't draw. And you've got maybe the name of the company and maybe some catchy tagline there. And then either down the side or across the top, you have navigation. You have content here in the middle, which is words and pictures. Right? Hopefully, if you're smart, you have a little form somewhere on the page that does lead capture. Okay? Hopefully, you are informing through the use of maybe an FAQ in your site. You should have contact information. You probably have that on your footer. And you can swap things around, but I'll tell you what. Go look at any website you can find. Go look at the websites of the biggest companies known to man. And yeah, they might look shiny, they might look flashy, they might look glitzy, but this is what you get for $40,000. Now what we could do is we could actually make this site simpler. We can make this site so simple it doesn't even seem to make sense that anybody would pay a lot of money for it. And the reality is you don't have to. We could make the site absolutely nothing but a banner up here. Right, that conveys, and this does have to be done well artistically, but this whole site can be built for about $100. And that this picture and this messaging should convey part of your value. Then we use a combination of some video, which you can shoot on a $100 camcorder and upload to YouTube and embed by cutting and pasting code. We use some text. We use some photos. Okay, and we're still under $100 here doing this. We use an automated system, an email system, to do lead capture. And we basically make a copy of this page with a value proposition for page number 2. This is the one that actually does the selling. This is the one that does the lead generation. And the lead generation side hands directly off of the page that does the selling, and you put that system in place, and you can literally do that for $100. We've done that with one of the sites you'll see featured on our site, Valerie Asnoff's Ballistic Striking. There is a typical site. We have who he is, about him, things like that, how you can contact us for technical support. But honestly, where we send the majority of our traffic is to a page that has none of that on there. It's this simple. But because it follows the same elements of design using imagery, interactive media, text, lead capture, and actually ask people to buy something. You know how many sites are out there? They're gorgeous, but they're like a brochure. There's no way to buy. The customer's literally going, look, I want your product. Here's my wallet. Take my money. Shoving it at the computer screen. Can't figure out how to buy from you. You'll never have that problem with a Franklin Spirko site. We're happy to take your money anytime you want to spend it with us. But this simple process of design really needs to be part of what you're doing. Now look, I'm not saying that it's not a good idea to have a nice, fancy, highly polished site, especially depending on what market you're serving. I'm not saying that you need to spend $100 on your site. You probably should spend more. But what I am saying is you don't need to go out putting the bulk of your money into the cost of design, having a group of 20 executives sit around a conference table analyzing 15 different logos, arguing about it, and when they're all done, they all agree that they want the circle with the thing going around it. Okay, that some kid could have made for you in 15 minutes if you would have just been willing to listen to him and do what he suggested, because that's what he does every day. Take the approach of putting together sites that sell. Focus first on what is going to go on the site. What is the content? What is the message? What is your unique value proposition to your customer? What price can you afford to sell at to make a reasonable profit, to make a very good profit? Where's your places in between? Get all that right, then build your design around it. And don't forget that every site is basically a box with a top and a bottom and a way to navigate around it.